All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Sunil Verma. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to co-chair virtually 17th ASEAN-India Summit with his Vietnamese counterpart today. Prime Minister says trust deficit between taxpayers and tax administration has significantly reduced. Cabinet approves production-linked incentive scheme for key sectors to boost manufacturing and exports. Government to provide 50% subsidy on air transportation for fruits and vegetables from northeastern and the Himalayan states. And Public Service Broadcasting Day being observed today. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin the bulletin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with Prime Minister of Vietnam, Nguyen Xuan Phuc, will co-chair the 17th ASEAN-India Summit today. The leaders of all 10 ASEAN member states will participate in the summit. The summit will be held online. We have a detailed report on this.
The summit will review the status of ASEAN-India strategic partnership and take stock of progress made in key areas such as connectivity, maritime cooperation, trade and commerce, education and capacity building, etc. The leaders will discuss ways to further strengthen ASEAN-India engagement and in this context will note the adoption of ASEAN-India Plan of Action 2021 to 2025, COVID-19, post-pandemic economic recovery and important regional and international development will also be discussed at the summit. ASEAN-India Summit provides the opportunity for India and ASEAN to engage at the highest level. Prime Minister had attended the 16th ASEAN-India Summit in Bangkok in November last year. 17th ASEAN-India Summit will be the 8th ASEAN-India Summit attended by him. ASEAN-India strategic partnership stands on a strong foundation of shared geographical, historical and civilizational ties. India's activist policy underlining ASEAN centrality reflects the importance India attaches to engagement with ASEAN. Anupamish, AR News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India has left behind the tag of tax terrorism and is moving towards an era of tax transparency. He said sustained efforts by the government towards the policy of reform, perform and transform has made this possible. The Prime Minister was speaking after inaugurating the newly constructed office-cum-residential complex of the Cuttack Bench of the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal in Odisha through the virtual mode yesterday.
पहले की सरकारों के समय शिकायतें होती थी टैक्स टेररिज्म, चारों तरफ यही शब्द सुनाई देता था, टैक्स टेररिज्म। आज देश उसे पीछे छोड़कर टैक्स ट्रांसपेरेंसी की तरफ बढ़ रहा है। टैक्स टेररिज्म से टैक्स ट्रांसपेरेंसी का ये बदलाव इसलिए आया है क्योंकि हम रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म और ट्रांसफॉर्म के अप्रोच के साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। हम रिफॉर्म कर रहे हैं रूल्स में, प्रोसीड्यूर्स में और इसमें टेक्नोलॉजी की भरपूर मदद ले रहे हैं। हम परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं साफ नीयत के साथ, स्पष्ट इरादों के साथ और साथ ही साथ हम टैक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के माइंडसेट को भी ट्रांसफॉर्म कर रहे हैं.
Prime Minister said the colonial image of the tax collector as the exploiter and the taxpayer as the exploited need to change. He said due to the transparent tax administration, more and more taxpayers are coming forward to be part of the tax system of the country. The Prime Minister underlined a number of measures which have been taken by the government in easing the tax burden in different sectors of the economy. Mr. Modi said India is one among only a few countries to have codified the rights and duties of the taxpayers. He said the trust deficit between the taxpayers and the tax administration has significantly reduced. He pointed out that now only 0.25% of the returns are being subjected to scrutiny, which has boosted taxpayers' faith in the system. The Prime Minister also appealed to people to continue with the preventive measures like wearing face mask and social distancing to deal with COVID-19 infection.
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, CCEA, has approved continuation and revamping of the Scheme for Financial Support to Public-Private Partnerships in Infrastructure Viability Gap Funding Scheme till 2024-25 with a total outlay of 8,100 crore rupees. Briefing reporters in New Delhi after the Cabinet meeting yesterday, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the aim of the scheme is to promote public-private partnerships in social and economic infrastructure, leading to efficient creation of assets and ensuring their proper operation and maintenance, and make the economically and socially essential projects commercially viable.
Continuation of a scheme which exists, but also revamping it to an extent that the financial support which has been extended all these years from 2006 of providing a viability gap fund for economic infrastructure will now be extended even for social infrastructure. Social sector activities which relate to wastewater treatment, water supply, solid waste management, and health and education sectors. So in these sectors, if there are projects through which private participation can be sought, with this we expect to be able to quickly ramp up social infrastructure in this country.
The Union Cabinet has also approved Production-Linked Incentive PLI scheme for 10 key sectors for enhancing India's manufacturing capabilities and exports. Briefing reporters after the Cabinet meeting, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said,
मोदी सरकार ने ये फैसला किया कि 10 उत्पादन के प्रमुख क्षेत्रों में उत्पादन आधारित प्रोत्साहन राशि यानी प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव दिया जाएगा, लगभग 2 लाख करोड़ का। ये उत्पादन भी बढ़ाएगा, निर्यात भी बढ़ाएगा और रोजगार भी बढ़ाएगा। आत्मनिर्भर भारत को साकार करने की दृष्टि से ये निर्णय महत्व का होगा।
Industry body FICCI has said that the announcement of PLI scheme for 10 sectors by the government is a major boost for the manufacturing sector. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the Assembly election results have clearly shown that people will shower their blessings on those who work with honesty and vision of development.
भारत के लोग 21वीं सदी के भारत के नागरिक बार बार अपना संदेश स्पष्ट कर रहे हैं। अब सेवा का मौका किसी को मिलेगा जो देश के विकास के लक्ष्य के साथ ईमानदारी से काम करेगा। हर राजनीतिक दल से देश के लोगों की यही अपेक्षा है कि देश के लिए काम करो, देश के काम से मतलब रखो।
Addressing BJP workers at the party headquarters in New Delhi yesterday on the occasion of celebration of victory gained during the Bihar Assembly elections and by polls in other states, Mr. Modi said, the development of the country and state is the biggest creation now and it is going to be the basis of elections in the times to come. The Prime Minister said, the way India has fought this corona pandemic from Janata curfew till today has been reflected in these election results. He said, the mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas has won in Bihar elections. On the occasion, BJP President J.P. Nadda, Union Ministers Rajnath Singh and Amit Shah, and senior leaders of the BJP were also present. Meanwhile, the process of formation of new government in Bihar has begun. Discussion amongst allies of National Democratic Alliance is continuing. The tenure of Bihar Assembly is till 29th of this month.
Food Processing Industries Ministry has provided 50% subsidy on air transportation from northeastern and the Himalayan states. The ministry said under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, Operation Green Scheme, top to total, 50% transportation subsidy is now made available for air transportation for 41 notified fruits and vegetables from northeastern and the Himalayan states to any place in India. It said airlines will provide the transport subsidy directly to the supplier, consignee or agent by way of charging only 50% of the actual contracted freight charges and will claim the balance 50% from the ministry as subsidy. All the airports in Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura from the northeast and Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Union Territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh amongst the hilly states are eligible under the scheme. The Union Government has issued order bringing online films and audio-visual programs and online news and current affairs content under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. OTT over-the-top platforms including Netflix, Hotstar, Prime Video and online news portals are also now under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. The development was announced yesterday in a Gazette notification.
Ministry of Textiles has launched a campaign Local for Diwali. Textile Minister Smriti Irani has appealed to people to celebrate Diwali by buying and gifting local textiles and handicraft items to support local weavers and artisans. She appealed to people to take pictures of their favorite articles like clothing or a handicraft product and tag the person you purchase it from and go #Local for Diwali. Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had urged the citizens to use Indian handicrafts and also communicate to more and more people about them. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to co-chair virtually 17th ASEAN India Summit with his Vietnamese counterpart today. Prime Minister says trust deficit between taxpayers and tax administration has significantly reduced. Cabinet approves production-linked incentive scheme for key sectors to boost manufacturing and exports. Government to provide 50% subsidy on air transportation for fruits and vegetables from northeastern and Himalayan states. And Public Service Broadcasting Day being observed today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
News Services Division of All India Radio brings to you program Employment News in association with the Publications Division, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. An effective platform for information on job vacancies, training programs, admission notices, results and career advice with experts. Every day at 4:20 p.m. on FM Gold and other frequencies and on our YouTube channel AIR News Official.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil the life-size statue of Swami Vivekananda at the campus of Jawaharlal Nehru University in the national capital today through video conferencing. Minister for Education Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank will also be present on the occasion. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 92.79%. More than 50,000 COVID patients have recovered during the past 24 hours. Health and Family Welfare Ministry said the total number of recoveries has surpassed the 80 lakh mark in the country. In the past 24 hours, 44,281 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 86 lakhs.
Talking to All India Radio, Dr. Piyush Ranjan, Additional Professor in the Medicine Department of AIIMS, New Delhi, dwelt upon lifestyle and techniques to boost immunity for a long time to get rid of the fear of COVID-19. He advised people to ignore rumors about pills or drugs that are claimed to be one-time solutions for weak immunity.
इम्यूनिटी को एक दीर्घकालिक निवेश के रूप में देखना चाहिए. संतुलित भोजन के रूप में करना होगा, नियमित व्यायाम के रूप में करना होगा और बुरी आदतें जैसे कि सिगरेट, शराब और दूसरी अन्य चीजों से दूरी बनाए रखना होगा. और अभी जो बाजार में आप देखते हैं कि तमाम तरह के भ्रामक विज्ञापन आ रहे हैं जिसमें कि 1 दिन, 2 दिन, 4 दिन, 5 दिन इसमें आप कोई एक पर्टिकुलर दवा खा लें उसके बाद आपकी इम्यूनिटी ठीक हो जाएगी. वो ऐसे भ्रामक विज्ञापन से अपने आप को दूर रखें. इम्यूनिटी कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है जिसमें आप 1 दिन, 2 दिन कुछ खुराक दवा खा करके आप बना सकते हैं.
In Bihar, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 96.64%. This is 3.85% more than the national average. The number of active cases in the state is continuously declining.
Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has appreciated the innovative and effective decisions taken by the Maharashtra government, keeping in mind the interest of common people in controlling the spread of coronavirus infection. In a review meeting held yesterday, State Health Minister Rajesh Tope informed him about the several measures taken to contain the COVID spread. More details from our correspondent.
While reviewing the coronavirus situation in 7 states in the country, including Maharashtra, Dr. Harshvardhan said that the measures taken by Maharashtra would set an example for other states. These measures include reduction of COVID test rates, controlling prices of HRCT test, plasma and face masks, reservation of 80% beds in private hospitals, implementation of Mahatma Phule Jan Arogya Yojana for all citizens, and door-to-door health campaign of My Family, My Responsibility. During the meeting, State Health Minister Rajesh Tope demanded for an insurance cover for all private doctors in the state under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. To this, the Union Health Minister said that a positive decision will be taken in this regard. With Sweetie Jain, Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Tamil Nadu, the number of people infected by COVID-19 so far has crossed 7.5 lakh. However, the active caseload has come down to 18,655. More information from our correspondent.
Tamil Nadu is one of the states receiving the maximum tourist flow in the country. COVID-19 pandemic affected the industry in a big way, virtually crippling it for many months. However, the famous tourist places in the state are gradually opening up for receiving footfalls. The famous Tri-Sea confluence of Kanyakumari has already begun welcoming the visitors. For reaching the hill resort towns like Ooty, Kodaikanal and Yercaud, auto-generated online travel registration slips are being granted easily. However, the iconic beaches in Chennai are still out of bounds for the public due to COVID fears, as the city continues to be on top in terms of recording daily cases and also the active caseload. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
In Karnataka, 2,584 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported during the last 24 hours, taking the tally to 8,53,796. At the same time, 2,881 people were cured from the infection and were discharged from various hospitals in the state. Gujarat recorded 1,125 new COVID-19 cases during the last 24 hours. Recovery rate has reached up to 91.28%. More from our correspondent.
Gujarat has recorded a total 1,83,844 cases till now. Out of this, 1,67,820 patients recovered. 1,352 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. More than 66,25,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date. Maximum 207 new cases reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 184 new cases. At present, total active cases in the state are 12,245, out of which 74 patients are on ventilator. Meanwhile, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has lifted the ban in 27 busy areas of the city and allowed the shops to remain open till 12 midnight in view of coming Diwali festival. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Odisha, COVID-19 sample tests have crossed 50 lakh mark, with a total of 3,55,000 persons found infected. As revealed by these tests, the positivity rate is found to be around 6%. The state has reported 1,469 fatalities so far.
While positive cases in Odisha have overshot the 3 lakh mark, COVID-19 recovery is not far behind either. A total of 2,92,477 people have already come out from the clutches of the vicious virus. Not only that, COVID-19 recovery continues to run ahead of case discovery on a daily basis for the last couple of fortnights. During the last 24 hours, the state reported the recovery of 1,340 patients as against 1,220 new cases. Added to this is the remarkable downsizing of the viral spread in the erstwhile COVID hotbeds like Khordha and Cuttack district, which have been reporting new cases in the vicinity of only 100 per day. Girish Chandra Das, Bhubaneswar.
Public Service Broadcasting Day is being observed today. The day is celebrated every year to commemorate the only visit of Mahatma Gandhi to the studio of All India Radio Delhi in 1947. The father of the nation addressed the displaced people who had temporarily settled at Kurukshetra in Haryana after partition.
मेरे दुखी भाइयों और बहनों, मुझे कोई पता नहीं है कि सिवाय आपके मुझको कोई भी सुनता है या नहीं, ये अनुभव मेरी जिंदगी में मेरे लिए दूसरा है। पहला अनुभव इंग्लैंड में हुआ था जब मैं राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस में गया। मुझको पता ही नहीं था कि मुझको इस तरह से कुछ बोलना है। मैं तो एक अनजान पुरुष हूँ, मैं कोई दिलचस्पी भी नहीं लेता हूँ, लेकिन दुख के साथ मिल जाना वो तो मेरा जीवन भर का प्रयत्न है।
A special program is organized in the premises of All India Radio New Delhi every year to mark the occasion. Today is the birth anniversary of renowned ornithologist Salim Ali. Born in Mumbai on 12th of November in 1896, Salim Moizuddin Abdul Ali was not only a bird lover but also a naturalist. He is often referred to as the Birdman of India. He was the first Indian to conduct systematic bird surveys across India and wrote several books that popularized ornithology in India. Salim Ali played a pivotal role in establishment of Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, Keoladev National Park, and prevent the destruction of what is now the Silent Valley National Park. Along with Sidney Dillon Ripley, he wrote the landmark 10-volume Handbook of the Birds of India and Pakistan. Let's listen to an excerpt from his interview before we discuss more about him.
मुश्किल तो यही है कि हमारा पॉपुलेशन इस कदर बढ़ रहा है कि इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस तो बिल्कुल खत्म ही हो गया है, क्योंकि हर चीज में इंसान का दखल है। आप देखिए कि जंगलों में जहाँ के जानवरों को रहना चाहिए, वहाँ इंसान ने जाकर जंगल काट डाले और मैदान बना दिया, और अभी जो जंगल बाकी है उसको भी लेना चाहता है और उस पर हमले हो रहे हैं।
Salim Ali was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 1958 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1976, India's third and second highest civilian honours respectively. Besides the Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan, Ali received the gold medal of the British Ornithologists Union in 1967. He was the first non-British citizen to receive the honour.
In Madhya Pradesh, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will release a roadmap 2023 of Atmanirbhar Madhya Pradesh today in Bhopal. Chief Executive Officer of Niti Aayog, Amitabh Kant, will also participate in the program. In a first for India, the Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation Limited, MMRCL, will lay vibration-absorbing tracks on the Kolaba-Bandra Seeps Metro Line 3. MMRCL Director Projects S.K. Gupta yesterday said the corporation has started a trial production of the high-vibration attenuation-booted twin sleeper blocks to lay tracks with the help of a machine from Sonneville AG, Switzerland.
In Maharashtra, 2 constables of Alibag jail were suspended after it was found that they had reportedly provided their personal mobile phones to inmates to make calls. Meanwhile, BJP leader Dr. Kirit Somaiya claimed that Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's family had a land transaction with late Unveil Nayak's family, who had allegedly committed suicide after he was not paid his pending dues by Editor-in-Chief of Republic TV, Arnab Goswami. Goswami and 2 others arrested in this connection were granted bail on the surety bond of 50,000 rupees by the Supreme Court yesterday. Speaking at a press conference in Mumbai yesterday, Mr. Somaiya said that prima facie it appears that the business deal is suspicious and hence demanded the district collector of Raigad to conduct an inquiry into it.
And now let us take a look at today's weather forecast. The national capital is likely to witness fog in the morning and clear sky later during the day. The minimum temperature was recorded at 11 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 29 degrees. In Mumbai, the sky will be clear. The minimum temperature in the metropolis was 19 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperatures will hover between 24 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is expected to have mainly clear sky with the temperatures varying between 21 and 33 degrees Celsius. On to the north now. In Srinagar, there will be mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was -1 degree Celsius, while the maximum will be around 17 degrees. In Jammu, the lower level of temperature was 12 degrees Celsius, while the upper level will be around 28 degrees with mainly clear sky. In Leh, sky will be partly cloudy, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was -3 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 11 degrees. Gilgit will also have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night, with temperatures hovering between 1 and 21 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, the sky will be mainly clear, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 5 and 24 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperatures will hover between 11 and 29 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky. Chandigarh will have partly cloudy sky with temperatures oscillating between 13 and 29 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature was 14 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 30 degrees. The city will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Ahmedabad will see a clear sky. The minimum temperature was 16 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Inspector General of Police Vijay Kumar visited North Kashmir's Baramulla district, along with Inspector General of CRPF, Kashmir Operations Deepak Ratan yesterday. He held a detailed security review meeting with district SSPs and commandants of armed police and CAPF of North Kashmir in connection with the forthcoming DDC elections. The IGP Kashmir stressed on the officers to ensure synergy, better coordination and communication among all the forces working at the ground level. And now, an overview of today's newspapers. Hailing BJP's electoral victory in Bihar, the statesman, quoting Prime Minister Narendra Modi, writes, "Development only basis for politics now. Raising the spectre of censorship, government to regulate OTT online news platform," writes the Hindustan Times. The newspaper also takes note of approval of a rupees 2 lakh crore production-linked incentive PLI package to boost domestic manufacturing. To bolster the pandemic-hit economy, the central government all set to roll out a festive bonanza, focus on stressed sectors, middle-income groups, and employment generation, informs the Business Standard. The Economic Times leads with rupees 100 lakh crore Nifty M-Cap after stocks hit record as foreign investors buy shares worth rupees 6,027 crore, highest one-day purchase in nearly 3 months. After remaining in the severe zone for 6 days, Delhi's air improves to very poor as wind blows away pollutants, states the Pioneer. With phased disengagement on the cards, India-China close to pull back plan for Pangong-Chushul area, reports the Times of India. And finally, the Financial Express on its front page has a picture of police personnel riding new bikes given to them by the state government during a rally to prevent human trafficking under the Nirbhaya scheme in Bengaluru. The caption appropriately reads, "Riding for a Cause."
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to co-chair virtually 17th ASEAN-India Summit with his Vietnamese counterpart today. Prime Minister says trust deficit between taxpayers and tax administration has significantly reduced. Cabinet approves production-linked incentive scheme for key sectors to boost manufacturing and exports. Government to provide 50% subsidy on air transportation for fruits and vegetables from northeastern and the Himalayan states. And Public Service Broadcasting Day being observed today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.